2023 starts now. The Nigerian people are looking up to PDP, and they're looking at what we're going to do in Ekiti. The people are prostrate. They're looking for hope. The hope is there. All we need to do is to put ourselves together, and that process has started. And we have no doubt that we'll do that and we'll achieve that. And we need you to pass these messages to the world about the happenings in the country where the APC government continues to depreciate our lives. It's a discounting experiences every day. And the Nigerian people are tired, and I'm sure Ekiti will sell a story to the APC, and it will be a clear message. A message of enough is enough.
All right. To discuss the fallout of the governorship primaries in Ekiti and the controversies, let's bring in a RISE analyst and lecturer at Baze University, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. Very warm welcome to Newsnight.
Thank you. Good evening.
Are we bad losers or poor organizers of basic election?
Or not mature enough democratically?
I think it's all of the above. All of the above, really. It depends on how you want to look at it, but it's an unfortunate route, that we are used to, but that is replaying itself again, But in the case of Ekiti, we just want to keep hope alive, trusting that, those who are supposedly interested in aspirants, are going to be smart enough to bring about a quick resolution, like one of the aspirants said. But it's something that we should actually take for granted, because we have had two winners now. It is very certain that any of the aspirants will actually want to be in the position of the victors, and it's also definite that the advantage that the victors had, is something that the other aspirants will also covet, if they were so placed. But as humans, they are bound, to agitate, to be agitated, But we just hope, like I said, it will not be furthered to the courts, where we will have to have the Supreme Court deciding for us at the end of the day, like we had in the case of Anambra Primaries, where the cases got to the Supreme Court before we had a final resolution and before we had the election. We just hope that this will not get to that stage.
The Court even said that there was no primaries, or rather, Andy Uba didn't win the primary.
Let's hope that this will not be elongated. I want to trust in the governor of Ekiti, ordinarily a temperate consensus builder, and maybe Kayode Ojo, who is a leader in the PDP, that they will find a way to bring about peace so that we can have a peaceful election in Ekiti at the end of the day.
And like I said, is it a sign that our democracy is really not moving in the direction that we would expect ordinarily? Because a number of things seem to be playing out here. You mentioned undue advantage could be one, which is one of the things that the 7 aspirants, complaining about. Then the politics of godfatherism. And on the part of Oyebanji, who is the, purported winner of this election, the gap, just like my colleague raised there, Rufai, the gap between the winner, 101,000, and the second winner, 760.
Well, I don't think that those advantages can be something that we can completely eliminate. It will always happen in every contest where the powers that be, being humans, they will have their preferences, but the challenge will be that you should not deploy, state apparatus, to the advantage of your own preference, and of course we have had denial in the case of Ekiti that it never happened. At the same time, you cannot discount the complaints of some of these other aspirants because they are otherwise equally credible and formidable aspirants. Ordinarily, that if the stage were to be maybe better managed, they could have been,
better showing?
Yeah, they could have been maybe, a better showing, so to say.
But to start with, they even pulled out from that primary before it held. Should it have gone on in the first place? Or should it have waited to, allay the fears and concerns? I don't think
they should have waited because they were working against a deadline. Our next deadline is the PDP had already concluded theirs, so there was a race against time, and of course, I tell you, Ngozi, that there's no time that you conduct those primaries that there won't still be issues, I don't want to play up the question of the philosophy of political contestation that we're always talking about, that it does not expect us to be die-hearted about electioneering process, that we should learn to accept
be sportsmanly.
Sportsmanly and all of that. Well, that's a downside of our democracy anyway, so we need not play that out. But in the specific case of Ekiti, what are we expecting in this circumstance? Smooth resolution, like one of the aspirants promised, and that the leaders, being consensus builders, will now step in now and bring about a resolution. So that we'll not have a situation where, the back and forth, the bus stops is being elongated, where the judiciary is coming in and straining and stressing the process, distracting INEC, and probably creating a situation where there'll be a high level of anxiety and uncertainty in advance of the main election itself.
Now, let me ask you, you've talked about INEC. INEC supervised both primaries. Yeah. And if the elections,
were they supervisors or they were
just observers
yeah.
and supervisors,
okay.
whether you like,
okay.
You get the point, because they would observe and the rest. But why is INEC quiet in the face of all these allegations for what they witnessed, and they can't put a simple report together and see if that will even help to douse the tension?
Do they? I'm not sure they have any strong statutory or constitutional role in the circumstance, because this is internal to the parties. The best they can do as observers is to report to their headquarters, and probably they will also guide the party headquarters as well, and get them to do the right thing, going forward, or to bring about steps that will mitigate whatever damage that could arise, from the process, as the case could be. Do they have any power to enforce anything at this level? It's not. It's intra-party yet. It's not inter-party where INEC will have to come to the fray.
But INEC still gave the warning to parties, including the two parties that have just held primaries, that if there's any big question mark on the conduct, and the outcome of the primaries, they might have to wield the big stick. And I wonder, just like you asked, what exactly can INEC do at this stage? But what do you expect, really, as the best way forward out of this, both for the PDP and the APC?
I think what I expect is that, the party elders should step in at this stage, and talk to the aspirants. Some of them are already using very strong words, and strong words shouldn't be the hallmark of any leader who wants to be a governor, for instance, because we can be in a contest today, tomorrow we can still be friends, and the words that we're going to use against ourselves shouldn't be those ones that will hurt us. It should just be a matter of disagreement, not for our egos to be not being disagreeable, and not for us to bruise each other's egos, so that in a matter in which we will not be able to forget. So
tolerance,
just about mutual tolerance, because that's the hallmark of democracy, and that was what we want to see exemplified in Ekiti.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Abiodun Adeniyi, a RISE analyst and a professor at the Baze University right here in Abuja.